Thank you, Deputy Colm Keaveney.
I would like to acknowledge the commitment of Deputy O'D to put forward this motion, because we're being faced with a language around the word Minister review. And for many concerned people out there in society, a review means a cut by stealth. We know that from the medical card debacle that caused considerable distress to elderly people and those with chronic illness in society who come under incredible pressure after a review. It was Minister for Transport, Deputy Varadkar, who stated that the review is only concerning, I quote, the modernisation of the scheme. But Minister, it's the same language that was used to order a review into maternity services in the West and North West region that proposed to rip out maternity services across hospitals in rural Ireland. Now, that report or review was only shelved when we established that there was a significant conflict of interest between the connections of those people who were central commissioning of that report and the review itself. Another so-called review was the conclusion where it was a predetermined political necessity to close or never open a state-of-the-art facility in Ballinasloe, a €3.2 million, the only ligature-free mental health facility in this country, never opened, in order to ensure you favoured one of the backbenchers from this government to benefit from the proposal of a development in Galway City. That was a review. The Minister for Social Protection, and now Taoiseach, has asked us to take her on her word that there won't be any cuts to the free travel scheme. But she's going to have to forgive us if we fail to do so, because see, we know what the government's modus operandi is when it comes to the word review. The Taoiseach had made much of her protection in the so-called of core welfare payments, and she has conveniently brushed over the fact that she has disgracefully broke that commitment to young people in this country who are under the age of 26, or indeed the faithful commitment to the people and women of this country that she wouldn't cut child benefit. That was a commitment that was part of a review within the programme of government. And the government has cut and stood over and the implementation disproportionately of cuts that have been targeted at the elderly, at those people in society who care, those people who have a mental illness, or indeed people in society who are under the age of 26. And it isn't as if we are saying this in isolation of the advocacy groups in society, because Age Action Ireland have clearly expressed that they have a concern about the review that's currently been undertaken by the Minister. So the object of this motion here tonight is to put a marker down on behalf of those people in society who feel that they're being let down by the government with respect to how they approach reviews. And they cannot, elderly people cannot be comforted by the Minister's assurances, because we have a situation where elderly people in this country have seen the withdrawal of medical cards. Over 70s have witnessed over 30,000 medical cards taken away from them. Other measures such as tax relief on the health insurance, removal of the telephone allowance, cuts in the home health packages, cuts in fuel allowance, the abolition of the bereavement grant, and the increase in the pensions levelling. So, Minister, elderly people know that the government, they know that they're not on your side, and that the welfare of elderly people is in great doubt with respect to the political commitment on the free travel scheme. I would ask you, Minister, to pay particular attention to previous comments tonight around the issue of private operators. Contributions that have indicated that these schemes are under threat and are not viable as a consequence of the number of private operators in this country who have grave doubts about their capacity to continue to offer the scheme. Minister, I'm sure you will agree that the scheme has had a huge significance in terms of the quality of living for senior citizens in this country, because we know that 70% of them rely on the scheme to access medical care, to engage in shopping, to maintain social contact where rural isolation is a feature of their lives. And I would appeal to you, Minister, to advise the Taoiseach to enhance the assurances that have been given with respect to the ability of transport companies to provide those services to the elderly people of this country. And I think it's important that we look at the capacity of increasing funding to ensure that those private operators have that scope. I appreciate, Minister, that the Taoiseach and yourself have demonstrated a lot of energy over the course of the last number of weeks with respect to internal affairs of the party. And it's an indulgence that has lasted over 7 weeks. Minister, I'd ask you to demonstrate the same significant energy the commitment that you have demonstrated over the last 7 weeks to the elderly people of this country with respect to a commitment in defending the welfare of vulnerable people out there in society who simply do not trust this government with respect to how you approach reviews.
Mark.